The big lie is back.
Actually, as you know, they just lost the White House, but it's one of those things. But who knows? Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time. This election was rigged, and the Supreme Court and other courts didn't want to do anything about it. So how the hell is it possible that we lost? It's not possible.
You can do the math yourself. There is no doubt the former president lost the 2020 election by more than 7 million votes. No doubt the former president then is a liar. Yet, no doubt, as demonstrated by the CPAC embrace yesterday, he retains giant sway over the Republican Party's future. How much sway, though, is the big debate? Joining our conversation to discuss, Republican strategist Alice Stewart and Toluse Olorunnipa of the Washington Post. Tolu, let me start with you. The former president says the Republican Party is unified and will be more unified. But in that speech in which he said, unify with me, telling the big lie again about the election being stolen when it was not, he also went on for, I think it was 49 seconds, just shy of a minute, named 17 Republicans who either voted to impeach or convict by name, and said the party he says is unified must get rid of all of them.
Yeah, he wants the party to unify around him, around Trumpism, not around these conservative values that the party has long been known for. So he wants to cull from the party anyone who would show any kind of disloyalty against him personally, even if they are longstanding Republicans, people like Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney, who have been part of the party even before he became a Republican, before he essentially took over the party. So he's having this loyalty test in which he's essentially saying, we are going to unite the party around my presidency, around my persona, and not necessarily around policy goals or policy ideas beyond anything that would be reminiscent of Trumpism. So it's very clear that the former president is trying to unite the party around himself, trying to build enough support for a potential third or second run for the presidency, a second term after losing the House and the Senate and the White House. He wants to essentially make sure that the party's behind him so that if he wants to make a political comeback, he will not have to fight a civil war within his party. He wants to show that he has the dominance of over his party and that he can run again and potentially be the Republican nominee once again in 2024.
And Alice, you just knew, despite some advisors asking him not to, you knew when he returned to the stage he was going to tell the big lie, he was going to say that he won and all that. There was a piece, and let's listen here, there was a piece here where he just went after the new president. Now, it's unusual for a former president to go after a new president so young in the new administration, if you will, but Donald Trump, doesn't adhere to tradition. This is his take on Joe Biden.
Biden's radical immigration policies aren't just illegal. They're immoral, they're heartless, and they are a betrayal of our nation's core values. There's no reason whatsoever why the vast majority of young Americans should not be back in school immediately. But if the Democrats have their way, we are heading from energy dominance to energy disaster.
Now, some of that could be fact-checked, but that is within the range of what you'll call normal political hyperbole for the most part. That's the Trump that if he's going to be on the national stage, many Republicans are like, okay, do that, but don't do that other thing.
Right. And look, we knew that he was going to bring up immigration. That was the cornerstone of his first election that helped to garner support for the White House. But the problem is he didn't get anything done with regards to that. And if we do want real meaningful change with immigration, it needs to be bipartisan, pro-growth immigration reform. But that being said, he clearly does have a path to unite the Republican Party against the policies of this Biden administration when it comes to the Green New Deal, when it comes to immigration, when it comes to what they've done with energy and with the minimum wage increase. But the interesting thing, John, is that while he is the de facto head of the Republican Party right now and the GOP and certainly at CPAC, I was really surprised to see with the poll that they had at CPAC yesterday, those people certainly support him. He had a 97% approval rating amongst those people. But when they asked the question, who would you support for president in 2024, former President Trump only got 55% of that support. So it's really surprising that he didn't get a larger number there. So I think that goes to show that while he is a big factor in the party right now, he certainly is not top of mind for a lot of people that ordinarily would be in his camp if he were to run again.
And Toluse Ellis raises a very important point. You have this is if there's a Trump crowd, it's CPAC. It's been stacked now with people who support him. We've watched it emerge over the years. It is run by somebody who is a Trump supporter. I'm going to use the polite word supporter. I could get a little harsher, but I'll be kind on a Monday here. But to Ellis's point, 55% support in a CPAC straw poll. Just 68% said they wanted him to run for president again in 2024. Now, the 15% said they don't want Trump to run. What does that tell you? As this is going to be the question for the next couple of years. Is he disciplined enough? Is he popular enough to hold his sway right here? I'm sorry, we lost Toluse Ellis.
I think it will be difficult to keep him tame, I guess, or in line. And I think the important thing to remember, and Toluse touched on this, while the president is massively popular within his base in the Republican Party, since he was in office, we lost the House, we lost the Senate, and we have obviously lost the White House. So it's not a winning formula. The key for Republicans is to focus on the policies, focus on the issues: limited government, fiscal responsibility, individual liberties. Focus on the policies and do away and steer clear of the personalities that may unite them, but it is divisive overall. And we lost a lot of votes, and specifically, I think, in Georgia because of the personality and the divisive tone and tenor of the former president. And that's the goal moving forward. Focus on the policies and not personalities.
Well, that's the defining question for the party as we go through the next weeks and months and into 2022 is, do they listen to you and follow policy, or do they follow a person who continues to lie to them? Lie to them. That's the biggest crime of all, lying to your own supporters about what had happened. Ellis, Stewart, grateful for your insights. At Toluse as well.